ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानंद नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानंद प्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापते नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, and verse number 40. So, we were discussing from verse 40. Neha vikramona swasti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So, in which endeavor? In the endeavor of in the endeavor of bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga. So, if somebody uh, who is trying his best how to fulfill the desire of the Supreme Lord, how to act upon the instructions of the Supreme Lord. So, when somebody is determined to follow the instructions of the Supreme Lord, that is to say that one is one is endeavoring to follow Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means we already discussed many times. Buddhi Yoga means to get intelligence and knowledge and instructions from the Supreme Lord and try to follow it. So it is so powerful that if one just tries his best how to please Krishna, how to follow his instructions. So even if he is able to do a little bit also, that has got such potential that it can protect one from most dangerous type of fear. Uh, so this is what the meaning of this verse is. So we were reading from the purport. I think we completed also it. So now next verse, Lord Krishna says, now, next verse, Lord Krishna explains who can exactly follow Buddhi Yoga, path of Buddhi Yoga, because one has to be uh, qualified. One has to have some qualification in order to be able to follow the instructions of a spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. It's not so easy thing because the instructions of the Supreme Lord and a bona fide spiritual master, they are like uh, just like these instructions are for our spiritual benefit only. So, in order to follow that, one has to give up his material desires, material attachments. Otherwise, one cannot follow those instructions. So, path of Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, although this path is very simple, Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga path is very simple, and instructions are also very simple. But um, it becomes very difficult for those persons who are too much attached materially. So, in this particular verse, verse number 41, Krishna is uh, telling the qualification who can follow the path of Buddhi Yoga properly. So, that's why, so that a person who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness, he may not become discouraged uh, because of being unable to follow the path of Buddhi Yoga perfectly, Lord Krishna in the previous verse, verse number 40, has encouraged us by all means that no problem, no matter, whatever our condition may be, if we are trying very sincerely and still if we are unable to completely follow the path, whatever we will be able to do, that will be of great benefit to us. This is what we learned from verse number 40. Krishna has encouraged us that Neha Vikramo Nasvasti Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swalpam. Okay, you try, at least you try to follow, at least you try. So even if you are able to do Swalpa Matra, Swalpa amount, that will also save you from greatest kind of danger, and that will give you permanent asset. So whatever instruction we follow in spiritual life means being guided by a bona fide spiritual master and supreme lord. So whatever we are able to do, whatever instruction we are able to follow, given by our acharyas and the supreme lord Krishna, that has a tremendous effect, great value. It's permanent asset. It is never going to get destroyed. Uh, any service we do for a pure devotee or the supreme lord Krishna, according to under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, that becomes our permanent asset. So this encouragement Lord Krishna has already given to us. So now the qualification we can talk upon the qualifications required for a person to be able to follow the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master or the supreme Lord Krishna. 100%, 100% who can follow. It's a very great qualification. It's very rare. It's not so easy thing, not so easy to find a person, a spiritualist or a devotee or disciple who can follow the 100% instructions of a bona fide spiritual master of the Supreme Lord. It requires a great deal of spiritual advancement. Only one who is really very, very advanced or mature in the spiritual understanding can give up all nonsense desires, all material attachments, and develop full faith in following the instructions of the spiritual master. So this we'll discuss in this particular verse. Vepsayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahusakha hi anantasya buddhayo avavsayinam. This is the verse. Who can follow? So those who are on this path, which path? Path of following the instructions of Guru and Krishna strictly, without getting deviated. That is this path, Buddhi Yoga, path of Buddhi Yoga. So those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Resolute means they are very much determined, whatever may happen. That the day may come when sun, instead of rising from east, rises from west. But those who are resolute in this path, those who are on this path, really on this Buddhi Yoga path, they are so much resolute that they cannot change following the instructions of a spiritual master. For them, the words of one of our spiritual master and Supreme Lord Krishna are the final thing. Final thing. They do not care for anything else. The material, the laws of material nature may change, but still they will not change their path. That is the meaning. So they are so much determined, and that is the perfectional stage. And in this stage, the Supreme Lord Krishna becomes very much pleased, and he fully manifests himself to such a devotee. Well, rather, the Supreme Lord Krishna is conquered by a devotee who is very much resolute on the path of Buddhi Yoga. With 100% faith without getting deviated, one who can follow the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master, then the Supreme Lord is purchased by such a devotee. So, of course, these kind of devotees are very, very rare. More rare than finding a bona fide spiritual master. Sadguru and Sadsishya. These two things are there. So, to find a Sadguru, especially in this Kali Yuga, is very, very difficult, rare. It's not so easy thing. Only those who are very, very fortunate and very have to some degree, some sincere desire to get the shelter of lotus feet of Krishna, they may get the opportunity to meet a bona fide spiritual master and get the guidance from them. Association of proper devotees. It's very not so easy thing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's why he says that those who want to get cheated, they get cheaters. And most of the people in this material world, they want to get cheated. Everyone wants to, most of them, they want to get cheated. Why get cheated means? Because most of the population, they want Maya, sense gratification. And the business of sense gratification is actually a kind of cheating. It's cheating because nothing is there. A living entity, he thinks that if I get this such sense gratification, I will be happy. But there is no happiness. It's just a happiness of this illusory conception is there. Illusion is there. He thinks. That's why most of the time, the most of the living entities they want uh, to fulfill their desires for sense gratification, and Maya is there. Maya is waiting. How can she entangle somebody? So she sends many agents. First of all, many agents of Maya are there in the form of materialistic people. So much material facility, materialistic people, technological advancement, modern advancement, and through which one can enjoy sense gratification. But even if somebody who may have a little interest in spiritual life, but if within the core of his heart he is guided by or harassed by or illusioned by the desire for sense gratification, then she meets a spiritualist who is cheater like him, who is going to cheat him because uh, if somebody desires to get material sense gratification using religious life, spiritual life, then there are many such bogus gurus, sadhus who are there to cheat such a disciple, and in this way get cheated also. Both of them they try to cheat each other and get cheated by Maya. Both of them are actually getting cheated by Maya. Maya is entangling everyone, keeping them away from Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is completely. That is the business of Maya to to protect Krishna. Business of Maya is to protect Krishna from such persons who have no inclination, no sincere desire to become devoted to Krishna, to serve Krishna. That is the business of Maya. She is, because she is made servant of Krishna. How can she allow somebody to approach Krishna if he has this desire for sense gratification from the Supreme Lord? So then her business is how to bewilder. So then she makes all these kinds of arrangement. Uh, Even in spiritual life also, she makes such kind of arrangement. But anyone, if somebody has a little sincere desire, although he may be having so many material desires also, because of being in this material existence for from many millions of years, we have been enjoying sense gratifications from so many millions of years. So that's why it's natural to have those material desires. But a sincere devotee means, sincere living entity means, now he wants to get rid of this business, nasty business of sense gratification, and wants to sincerely become devoted to Supreme Lord Krishna. Then Krishna very mercifully he makes arrangement and he brings that particular living entity in contact with a bona fide devotee, a genuine devotee, in whose association that particular living entity then develops a pure spiritual knowledge, and pure form of Krishna consciousness is then imparted, given by the bona fide spiritual master, a devotee, pure devotee. And then the living entity starts practicing Krishna consciousness with his heart and soul. So this is the functioning of a spiritual potency of the Lord. Just like there is Maya potency, Mahamaya, external potency acts. She entangles everyone. Durga Devi, known as Durga Devi. Maya Devi is very powerful. She keeps a living entity busy birth after birth with no hope, no chance of that particular living entity to even develop any kind of interest or desire to become devoted to Krishna. That is the business of Maya. To entangle the conditioned living entity in such a manner that the living entity who has chosen to become, to go away from Krishna, may fully enjoy his senses. To the fullest extent, uh, the chance is given by Maya so that the living entity can try his best to enjoy in this material world. But at the last, when he is frustrated from all his attempts to enjoy sense gratification independent of Krishna, then that particular living entity may develop a little desire to get rid of all this nonsense thing and to actually find out his real well-wishing friend, the Supreme Lord Krishna. Although he may not be knowing who is my real master, but traveling through Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan, traveling throughout the universe in different species, when a living entity becomes completely frustrated with this nonsense business of enjoying sense gratification, not enjoying, actually suffering sense gratification, then if he by some good fortune, if he can get a little desire to become free from this business, material sense gratification business, and to find out his real well-wishing friend, real master, then Krishna becomes very much active. And then from that point onwards, the function of spiritual potency comes into picture. Spiritual potency means Yoga Maya. That is the business of Srimati Radharani, Shri Lakshmi. So she is a Yoga Maya potency of the Supreme Lord. And then uh, through her guidance or under her control, the Yoga Maya potency, she makes such arrangement and that devotees, those who are proper devotees, bona fide devotees, then they come in contact, that particular living entity come in contact with a proper devotee. And then the spiritual knowledge is imparted. And then the living entity starts practicing Krishna consciousness, following the path of true spiritual life. And thus he merges, gradually he finds himself being merged in the ocean of real bliss of Krishna consciousness. So this is the thing. So this is very rare. Manushyanam sahasresu kasyat yatati siddhaye yadadamapi siddhanam kasyat mam veti tattvataha. Only very rare living entities will have this opportunity. Most of the living entities, especially in this Kali Yuga, they will be glamored by the imitation jewelry, imitation effulgence coming out of imitation jewelry. Sometimes it happens, these imitation jewelries, it is more shining, more effulgent, and from distance, it is more attractive. And the real jewelries, it is not so much attractive from distance until unless you come close and actually verify. So that's why those who want cheap sense gratification, so they run after imitation jewelry. But those who are really fortunate, having good brain substance, not whose brains are not filled with cow dung, uh, then they can understand very nicely all this. What is this nonsense business? Sense gratification. There is no happiness at all. So they then try very hard that to become free from this. So then they become determined. But it's still because no, they have been into business of sense gratification. So still, although they come in the path of on the path of Krishna consciousness, they have little sincere desire to get Krishna consciousness, to become devoted to Krishna. That's why they have been given the chance to associate with devotees, genuine devotees. But because their mind and senses are not fully under control, so they are unable to follow the instructions of such a bona fide spiritual master devotee perfectly. So that's why uh, they can their perfection delays. They will also get perfection, but it will they will realize it after some time, after some delay. And how much delay? It may take few births also, maybe few hundred births also. It depending upon uh, depending upon his sincerity and seriousness. But if somebody is very, very sincere, somebody who is very, very sincere, who is completely, who has controlled his mind and senses, who can follow perfectly the discipline given by the bona fide spiritual master, for them it's easy. In one birth is sufficient. One birth is sufficient to finish the entire business of this spiritual life and go back home, back to God. Such living entities, uh, such Sishya, true disciples are very, very rare to be seen, who can completely surrender unto the lotus feet of a bona fide spiritual master and who can perfectly follow whatever instruction is given. Uh, in their heart, the only desire is how to follow the instructions given. They do not deviate from the principle. So it's very, very rare. It's not so easy thing. Out of thousands of spiritual aspirants, genuine spiritual aspirants, out of thousands of such genuine spiritual practitioners, one may be a true disciple who can fully dedicate, surrender to the words or instructions of one of our spiritual master. And such disciples or such devotees, they become very, very fortunate to be able to fully realize the Supreme Lord, to be able to practically purchase Krishna. And then they become 100% pure devotee. And living this material existence in this life only, they go back home, back to God. So, of course, we should try, aspire to become such a Sat Sishya, such a disciple. Uh, but we can aspire, but uh, it requires a great deal of spiritual advancement. So those who are on this path are resolute in purpose. Resolute, they are very much determined. Nobody can shake their determination to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. Nothing can stop them. And their aim is one because they have chosen one aim only, no other aim. Uh, they have, fortunately, uh, they have freed themselves from all kinds of nonsense idea of spiritual life also. Nonsense idea means those who think that by following spiritual life, I can enjoy sense gratification also to some degree, some extent. And side by side, I can also advance in Krishna consciousness to get Krishna also. So those who think in such a way, so uh, they are considered to be foolish devotees. I am not saying this. Krishna says this. Uh, I'll show you the verse. Krishna kahe ama bhaje vishaya mage. A bada mood. Krishna says a bada mood. He is a foolish person. Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishaya sukha. Amrita chadi visha mage. Hey, bada murkha. Krishna says this. So those who are not fully resolute on this path of Krishna consciousness means those who desire something, even a little bit, 1%, maybe 1%, those who desire something, even 1%, other than Krishna's happiness, Krishna consciousness, other than Krishna consciousness. What is the meaning of Krishna consciousness? Yesterday we discussed in great detail. The only meaning of Krishna consciousness is that we perform activities only for satisfying the Supreme Lord. That is the only meaning. Krishna consciousness doesn't mean that I become Krishna conscious and I get happiness, either material or spiritual. No, there is no personal aspiration, no personal consideration. No, then that is not pure Krishna consciousness. Just like Kamsa, he was also Krishna conscious, means thinking about Krishna, not exactly Krishna conscious. Uh, yeah, maybe we can say Krishna conscious, but uh, centered around his own consciousness. Because he was fearful for himself that I may not lose my life because of this Krishna. So, in this way, he was thinking about Krishna, but actually, he was conscious of his own self. Whereas gopis, they were also fully Krishna conscious, but they were not conscious of Krishna because of for their personal self, but they were conscious about Krishna for Krishna's satisfaction, Krishna's happiness. That is also Krishna consciousness. So these two Krishna consciousness, both are Krishna consciousness, but there is gulf of difference. One is actually conscious about his own happiness and satisfaction, but he is deriving, he is depending upon Krishna. That's why he is thinking about Krishna. And another is conscious about Krishna's concern, Krishna's satisfaction. So there is difference. So we are talking about Anukulena Krishnanu Silana Bhakti Ruttama. This is Bhakti Ruttama. We are talking about such pure Krishna consciousness where a devotee, he has no other concern or consciousness for his own self-satisfaction, even up to the point of getting liberation from this material existence. Not even that. Such is the purity of Krishna consciousness. This, if you can just realize what to speak of realizing the true form of pure form of Krishna consciousness within our own self, that is so very powerful. But if we can just little bit understand about the purity of Krishna consciousness, means which a pure devotee is having. If we can just realize it or understand it little bit, that will make our life successful. We will also become very much inspired. Yes, why to become so much entangled or enamored or attracted by the desire for sense gratification? Immediately, one can give up sense gratification. This business of sense gratification, although it has become very natural for the conditioned living entities in this material existence, it has become very natural. Why? Why it has become natural? It is not natural. This is unnatural, third class thing. No living entity has anything, has no business with this sense gratification because it is not at all suitable. It is not up to the standard of the living entity. It's not our standard to enjoy this third class, nasty, sense gratification business. Just like the son of Ambani. If you bring son of Ambani to have lunch this in some dhaba, no? Dhaba. So what the son of Ambani? Will he accept? No, because he is accustomed to eat so many nice varieties of food stuff, 5 star, 7 star hotel. So he will not appreciate this. But the same son of Ambani, if he leaves the association of his rich father and lives with this all kinds of this what you say bad association, those who roam here and there, and for many years he have been into in such nasty association, then it will also become for him also it will become normal. Okay, let's have lunch in dhaba and eat all nonsense. But if somebody will come, some Ambani's secretary or manager, he will say, "Oh, you are son of Ambani. Why are you eating such nasty things? Come on, we'll feed you very nice thing. Don't you remember? 10 years back, you were eating such a nice food stuff. You have forgotten. Just see the picture. See, he is your father. You were enjoying such nice facility. Now, because you got into this bad association, you are suffering. So, at first, he may not be able to accept or he may not be able to reject those bad association. But if he is really intelligent, he will contemplate, yes, what I am doing this nonsense thing, this is nasty. I should give up. I should go back to my father. Similarly, this business of any sense gratification, either gross or subtle. Gross sense gratification, which we enjoy through these senses, and subtle sense gratification means at the level of mind, the so-called family happiness, so-called this happiness at the emotional satisfaction when which a person gets by trying to serve his family, nation, society. A sense of satisfaction is there. Some rasa is there. And that's why he is able to undergo so much difficulties. Just like a family man who, oh, we have only 4 minutes. Okay. So we'll discuss more about this and tomorrow because I have another class. So, but I'll just conclude it with this. Krishna ka hai. Krishna says, "Ama bhaje mage vishay sukh amrit chhade vishu mage ei bada murkh." That's why he's very, very, very foolish person. But Krishna is not foolish. Krishna says, "Ami vigyaye murkhe विषय के ने दीबा स्वचरणामृत दिया विषय भुलाई but I'm not fool. Krishna says I'm not a fool. I'm very intelligent. Ami Vigya. Why should I give this full material prosperity? Although she desires too much. In exchange of serving me, he wants sense gratification. But I know this is poison for him. So instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. Uh, so Krishna will do this, but only with those devotees who who desires that Krishna should act like this. If you don't desire, if you think that no, I don't want to give up my material attachments, then what Krishna can do? He cannot do anything. We have to at least develop to some degree, we have to develop this desire that, okay, Krishna, this is nonsense. I am fed up with this nonsense business of sense gratification, life after life. Now, kindly, please, you relieve me of all this nonsense thing. Then Krishna can act like that. Okay, thank you very much. We'll discuss more about this tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna.